'cause I cherish you.
First year of his success, I gave up my job as an apprentice film editor to help market David in Concert, because this was starting to escalate at such a pace that I knew he was going to need some anchor somewhere where, through all the chaos and all the machinery of yes people that come along with the trappings of fame and fortune.
That I am not gonna be the one to share your dreams.
Launched as a solo star, in 1972, Cassidy fever spread to Britain.
I remember when he came to London, and you know that he took that barge on the Thames or something like that. And I badgered my parents to bring me down, but there was no way. A girl from Stoke was not going to be coming to London to see David Cassidy in concert and scream. I think that was, my mum and dad drew the line at that.
It was all entertainment, and it wasn't who I was. It was just, you know, me putting on the jumpsuit and going out and doing the thing, and, you know, it didn't really reflect anything except perhaps my sense of humor about myself and the times.
I remember the stage outfits when he was out on the road, where he was working some polyester full-body suits, which were very different from what he wore on the TV, which was kind of regular guy gear,
jeans and shirts. Do you know who else wore polyester bodysuits?
Apart from me?
Elvis.
David definitely had a difficult time with his image as Keith Partridge, as being everybody's older brother and as being a goody two-shoes.
The whole neighborhood is so proud of you. Going off to Hollywood to be a big movie star.
I may not even get the part.
With that face, how could they refuse?
People were always shocked when they would see, like, David Bowie and Iggy Pop and David Cassidy and Mickey Dolenz. I mean, you know, we respected David. David could sell out, you know, Dodger Stadium a couple times, and that gives you a lot of respect.
And one more thing before I let you go. And I woke up in love this morning. I woke up in love this morning. Went to sleep with you on my mind.
David was a normal 19, 20-year-old guy that was like all of us. Our hormones are in our tennis shoes, and the number one thing that you think about all the time is women.
It's kind of why people become musicians, don't they say? That's why they pick up a guitar, is to meet girls, you know. So here he was in a wonderful situation to do that. And even though he couldn't even leave the hotel to look for them, he had people to bring them up there to him. All nicely chaperoned, of course, you know, but by me, with my camera.
He just sends you mad. He's so good looking, he's not true, you know. Everybody wants to get near him.
Could it be forever? Or is my mind just a rambling on? We touched you once, I kissed you once, now I feel like you're mine.
Everybody only saw his nice, squeaky clean 16 magazine cover, but Dave was a party animal. You know?
Hey, it was a wild and free and wonderful environment, and I was like every other red-blooded American boy.
Could it be forever? Or am I just a waste of time?
I had as much of an appetite for all of it as everybody else did.
Girls were passing out all the time, and he was really a heartthrob.
You're mine and I can't remember when the feelings have been stronger. And all I know is I can't let go on a beautiful.
What's your ambition as far as he's concerned?
Oh, like me and 1,000 of other girls in the world, most probably to become Mrs. David Cassidy.
And we all kind of sat around going, gee, I wish we kind of had that. Girls, you know, passing out. But they passed out at our concerts for all different reasons, though.
Keith, I've got something to tell you.
What?
You know that rumor about me and the older woman? Every word of it's true.
But you're only 10.
I actually lost my virginity on the set of The Partridge Family to a David Cassidy fan. I was 13. She must have been 22, 25. And she was looking all over David, and I guess he had his fill of girls in the dressing room, of which there were who knows how many. And I just went up to her all at 13 years old, and I said, "Hi, I'm Danny." And apparently, any partridge in a storm was her motto, and I like to say I gave that woman the best 30 seconds of her life.
They used to ask me about, how do you feel about having kids as fans? Or how do you feel about this teenage thing and teeny boppers? And I remember saying this all the time and thinking, well, it's great.
Everybody I love you.
I was a huge David Cassidy fan. It's true to say, probably, that he was the first man that I probably fell in love with.
He was a fabulous mover, and his cute little bum on action in stage was something I will not forget. It was gorgeous.
I like the way he dresses, really. How about the way he moves around on stage?
In the eyes of the world, I'm a loser just wasting my time. Can't make a dime. In the eyes of the world, being born was my first big mistake.
To be at the focal point of all of that energy of people screaming, "I love you." I wish every human could feel it.
I remember waking up in New Zealand. I mean, it was very early in the morning, and outside the window, you hear this, "We love you, David. We always will. We love you." Oh my God.
When one person looks at you and says, "I love you," and they look at you and they say, "No, no, no, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you." When 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs, "I love you," it's so overwhelming, man. It's like, whoa. It's the ultimate e-ticket.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Could I just ask you a few questions?
Sure. On that for us, please, son. Oh, it is, yeah.
A millionaire pop idol at 22, David was the world's most eligible bachelor. He drove his female fans wild and began to live in fear of being torn apart.
Glad to be here. What do you think about weather?
It's rather brisk, yeah? A bit chilly.
How to get him to and from the gig was of utmost concern. David would finish a gig, you'd take him off stage, he'd be full of sweat. You'd throw a blanket around him, either throw him in the floor of a limousine or in a laundry truck or something, and get him to the hotel.
How are you reacting to all this, all the fans and so on?
Well, I mean, there are not too many here, huh? It's good.
You're pleased they aren't here?
Well, yeah, only because, I mean, the airport situations, they can become, not too safe, and it's during a school day, and I'm glad that, it wasn't announced, and it was very quiet because nobody cut school, and, it's better that way,
We toured for years. I don't know how many shows a year we would do, but approximately 100 shows a year in the States, going out on the weekends.
It was just mass hysteria. I couldn't walk down the street. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't stay in hotels. I had to stay on a boat in the Thames, for instance, in London. I mean, in New York, I couldn't stay in any hotel. They turned over at Madison Square Garden. They destroyed 5 limousines when I played there. They stopped traffic in New York.
David's schedule, looking back on it now, was almost inhuman. I mean, I think the labor board would probably come down on us. I mean, fortunately, he was over 18 because we would definitely be breaking child labor laws.
I'd get up at 6 in the morning, be there all day on the set of The Partridge Family, then I'd go and record at night until midnight, get home at 1 o'clock, get up at 6 o'clock, and on the weekends, I would go out and do concerts all over the place. So I never slept. I was always exhausted. It always looked like I was hungover, which I wasn't, because I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't take no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. I couldn't possibly maintain if I was doing that, working that much. I never saw my home. I saw it between 1 in the morning and 6 in the morning. That was it.
Cassidy had not only a teen female audience, he had a huge gay audience as well. And I think that was partly the pretty boy looks and the sort of almost androgynous looks as well. And then you'd get 1 or 2 straight men into him because, well, the music's very good. He's a great performer. But I think it was mainly about sex, really.
How can I be sure?
And the voice. It was very breathy. How can I be sure?
How can I be sure?
It's all sort of very breathy, not so much vibrato, but breathy. And that was his distinctive sound, more than anything else.
Whenever I'm away from you, I wanna die, 'cause I wanna stay.
And I actually remember listening to the countdown on the top 20 on Radio 1, and How Can I Be Sure is #1. I remember bursting into tears, like, you've made it, David, you've made it.
Use me, touch me, but don't take me down. Whenever I I wanna die, 'cause you know I wanna stay with you. Baby, I'm just hanging around with my head up, upside down. It's a pity I can't seem to find someone who's as pretty and lovely as you.
I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't aware that people were attracted to me, men, women, but they're attracted to lots of people. Yeah, I'm sure that there is a sexuality, but when you're dealing with, you know, now I'm dealing with adults. You know, the people that were fascinated and were fantasizing, and most of it is very innocent.
I can feel your heartbeat, and you didn't even say a word. I can feel your heartbeat, but you didn't even say a word. Oh, I know, pretty woman, that you love to be heard.
He had something about him. For lack of a better word, he was very cocky. When you're
Do you remember how his hair used to walk into a room with that confident hair?
I used to love that, confident hair.
And I was desperate to have straight hair so I'd be able to have that style. In fact, I don't know, maybe now. Maybe it's somewhere here is the David Cassidy hairstyle. That's a bit frightening, isn't it?
You can feel my heartbeat too. I can tell you're feeling me. You can feel my heartbeat too. I can see you feeling me.
Cassidy was big business. You could stick David's face on absolutely anything and it would sell in truckloads.
Let it shine in the light of our love.
Jackie was the little girl's Bible. If there was a picture of David Cassidy on the front, or there was a floppy disk of maybe his latest single or something that he'd recorded specially for the magazine, of course you'd buy it. And probably, you know, the day after publication, there'd be none on the shelves.
I had lunch boxes. I had a thermos.
Worth so much money.
I had a toothbrush.